Shane, you are the host. The room is yours. I'll be enjoying the call uh, like people. Okay? So if you are ready, you can start. Welcome home.
All right. Thank you, Ahmed, for that beautiful introduction. And hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're calling from. To all Aurum Foundation partners worldwide. Again, you might be calling in. I don't know where you're calling in. We got Nigeria in the house. We got Ireland in the house. We'll just take a few minutes. Mexico is here. Woohoo! Croatia is here. South Africa, Greece, Germany, Thailand, USA, UAE, Thailand. That's going too fast. Sorry, guys. Brazil, Greece, India, Hamburg, New Zealand, way too fast. Turkey, Germany. I'm just reading as fast as I can. Welcome. I am fired up. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Hungary is in the house. Wow. Way to go. Way to go. Belgium, Belarus, Norway, Sudan, Greece. So it doesn't really matter where you're calling in from around the world. Zone 1 is where you want to be. Why is that? Because that's where all the money is. And so I'm going to, introduce myself a little bit. Canada. I'll just got to keep on going here. There's too many people in the room. We have over almost 700 people right now joining us all over the world. I am honored. Again, I'm honored. Slovakia. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Let's get this call. Hey, if you're ready to get started, just put a 1 in. Let's put a 1 in. We know you're calling in from all over the world. Let's put a 1 if you're ready for the Zone 1 call. This is a weekly call that we're going to do every single week. And first of all, I'll just begin here by saying that I'm honored that you've decided to join the Zone 1 call and to have, I'm honored to have the privilege to be working with the genius of Ahmed Zen and Brian Benson. This is just an incredible for me and the entire corporate team that have, behind the Aurum Foundation that have worked so hard to put everything together for our partners all over the world. So I just returned, as you know, from the Aurum official launch. All right. Everything else before last Saturday was pre-launch, practicing, putting everything together. But as of Saturday, January the 17th, it is official. It's launched. And I only have a couple words for what I witnessed personally, meeting over 600 of the top leaders of Aurum Foundation all over the world. I only have a couple words, and that is this: world class. End of training. It's world class. So if you're involved as a partner with Aurum, you've got to be thinking this is world class. It's just a beautiful thing. If you and I have not met yet, I'm going to try to slow it down because we have translations happening. We have many more languages that are going to be translated in the upcoming weekly event. But for those, I want to slow it down to give the translators an opportunity because I get fired up and I tend to go a little faster the more excited and fired up I am about the beautiful opportunity that's ahead of every single one of us in week 2. This is week 2, all right? And so if you and I have not met, I'm just going to take a quick, brief moment to give you an introduction, a little bit of background, so you get to know who is Shane Morand. I've worked with some of the top mentors, coaches, speakers in the world, people like Anthony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, Mark Victor Hansen, just to name a few. And in 2008, I co-founded a marketing concept in Canada. That's where I'm from. I'm from Canada. And starting from zero, I'm by zero, I mean zero sales, zero customers, zero distributors, and without any investors. I helped build a global brand to over $1 billion in combined sales within a short 5-year period. And we impacted over 2.2 million families in 55 countries around the world and helped create many brand new millionaires in the process. 10 years later, let's fast forward to 2018, I helped give birth to a global monetary system based on gold and silver. And a few months back, that same system generated 1.4 billion in transactions in a single day. When I found out about Aurum, when I found out about the Aurum Foundation and the project that's ahead of us here and learned about their powerful vision, the first thing that I'm asking is, what's your vision, right? If the vision is just to make money, I'm out. right? I'm out. That's not interesting to me. But they have such a powerful vision that we're going to talk about today. And I conducted personally over 3 months of due diligence. So this is not something that I just jumped into. I really conducted due diligence upside down, inside, outside, and I came to the conclusion that this Aurum Foundation is one of those rare opportunities that come along every 15 years. You know, that people look back and said, if I only would have known about that company like 15 years ago, I would have been really, really happy, right? But they missed it. But this is that opportunity. That's what I'm seeing based on my experience, based on what I've seen all over the world, based on the many, many opportunities that are out there. And in my personal opinion, again, this is my personal opinion, I believe that Aurum is really positioned perfectly and has all the ingredients to become one of the first multi-billion-dollar giants in the AI finance sector. All right, the AI, write this down. The AI finance sector, you write it down that on this day, on our first live call here on Zone 1, I'm predicting that Aurum will be one of the first multi-billion dollar giants in this particular sector. And I'm fired up. That's why I'm excited. That's why I'm excited for you that you joined this opportunity in such an early stage. And so let me tell you now a little bit about the weekly Aurum Zone 1 call. What is the purpose? What am I trying to do? What we're going to generate and why it's such an important weekly call that you must put into your calendar. Don't miss this call, the weekly Zone 1 call. And this weekly call is really for Aurum partners. All right, let me repeat that. The weekly call is for Aurum partners. It's also for all the partners. So whether you're a professional networker or you're just getting started and you have zero experience in this space, this weekly call is for you. All right? That's who it's for. This weekly call is not to introduce Aurum to you. I'm not going to be introducing Aurum. Because if you're already a partner, you already know a little bit about Aurum. We're not going to be talking about the compensation plan on this call. There's other calls that do that very well. Or we're not even going to be amazing breakthrough technology that Brian Benson has either already built or is building behind the scenes right now. That's not our lane. That's not my lane. That's Brian's lane. He's a genius when it comes time to explaining and going through the technology and why and how he's putting this entire beautiful ecosystem together. That's not why we're here. This weekly call is really to answer the most important question for Aurum partners. All right, let me repeat. This call is to answer probably the number one most important question that Aurum partners have. And what is that question? And the question that they have is, how can partners earn the most money? How can they earn the most? Where is the money? And that's what this call will answer. And so we want to create really a global unified concept that once you hear the concept, once you start learning about the Zone 1 concept, that you immediately translate it into your language and you immediately adopt it and learn it. So what you want to do is you want to learn the concept. It won't take long to learn the concept. And then I want you to apply the concept into your business, into your partnership business, into your network as you grow your business, right? And when you apply it, you're going to see, wait a second, this is easy. And when you say this is easy, then I'm confident that you can start teaching your own network. And so no matter where anybody goes, anywhere in the world, when they show up to a presentation, when they go to, whether it's a live presentation, it's a Zoom presentation, whether you're being introduced, whether you're a guest, whether all the guests come in, that there's a unified kind of concept of what we're going to do to grow the network bigger, better, faster, and stronger. So this concept will apply to every country in the world. It's going to apply to every partner in every language. And you can use the concept to build your organization, again, bigger, better, faster, stronger. And if you're excited about that, I don't know about you, but I am fired up about that possibility. And so where is all the money? in AURUM? There's the big question. Where is all the money in AURUM? And the answer to that question, there's only one answer. It's in Zone 1. That's where all the money is. That's the title of this program. That's the title of this Zoom. That's the title of this weekly presentation. And no matter, again, what language, no matter what part of the world you live in, the money is in Zone 1. And today on this call, I'm going to step you through what is Zone 1. All right. And as I go through the call and as I go through the system, you need to ask yourself a couple questions. The first, and you might want to write this down in any language, 2 questions that I want you to ask yourself. And that is, does this make sense? You know, that guy, Shane, is he making sense here, or is it just crap? You know, or is it just BS, right? Or does this make sense? Number 1, does it make sense what I'm teaching, what I'm sharing with you? Number 1. Number 2, will it produce results? Will it produce, does it make sense? If the answer is yes, start doing it. Start doing it starting immediately. And step 2, and the question 2 is, will it produce results? If it doesn't produce results, then stop doing it, right? But if it's producing, results faster than you can handle, then keep doing that, right? Keep doing that. So if you're ready, I want maybe to open up the chat right now, and I want you to insert in whatever language that you are most comfortable with. I want you to say, I am ready to get started. So let's do this. Let's open up the chat and let's say, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Let's hear you. I'm ready. Any language, right? I'm ready. All right. And we're going to begin here the presentation on the Zone 1. Keep going. Wow, that's a lot of people that are ready. This is exciting. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to get started again. This is, I just got to hide some of these things here on the chart here. And so this is the AURUM Zone 1 presentation. I would grab a pen and a piece of paper if I were you. I would just have a pen and a piece of paper. Again, doesn't matter what language you're in. You can write and take notes, and you can review, and then again apply what I'm talking about, and then we come back and we'll get better and better and better as we go. We're approaching 1,000 people on this live Zoom here, the Zone 1, and I'm so happy. I just looked a little while ago and it was just approaching 800, and now we're approaching 1,000 people in this room. This is amazing. And so let's get started with the presentation. And I just got to back up here. Maybe I pushed it. Just a sec. We got to get this presentation rolling here. It's rolling. Technology is a beautiful thing when it works, isn't it? There we go. It's just going way too fast here. Hold on a second.
It is excited. It's just getting excited.
It's crazy, man. I mean, this is amazing amount of people that are in this room here. I just want to get this going here to see if we can advance the slide, but it's advancing at a very, very rapid rate. Let's go here. See what it does? It's just going way too fast. So anyway, or you might want to write this down. It's where all the money is. We're in search of 1,000 new millionaires. And when I was speaking to Brian and Ahmad the first time we had a conversation, my first question was, "What's your vision? What's your vision?" And the answer was just music to my ears, and I'm pretty sure it's music to your ears. Write this down. The vision is to create 1,000 new millionaires, 1,000 new millionaires that are not millionaires today. I mean, what a beautiful vision this is for AURUM, and what a simple vision.
أنت عندك البرسنتج دي
that every single person.
هي ما فيش غيرها.
Hey, Ahmad, you're on. Maybe mute your speaker.
الكومباني بتدفعها.
Ahmad, maybe you can mute your speaker. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah, so again, write this down, and it's a simple thing. Can you teach this? Can you share the vision of AURUM? It's to create 1,000 new millionaires. So if you're already a millionaire, all right, if you're already, and there are already AURUM millionaires, by the way, this does not include you, okay? I'm sorry, you can join and you can invite all your entire network, but it really, we want to create, and Brian and Ahmad are serious, and they want to create 1,000 new millionaires. And so I don't know if you can't get excited about that. I'm not sure if I can help you. But the mission, all right, the mission of even Zone 1, the mission that I have personally, and I would encourage you to make it your mission too, is to find 1,000 volunteers who are hungry and who are teachable, who want to become the next Aurum millionaires. Look. Here's the bottom line. Aurum is gonna find, they're gonna create 1,000 new millionaires with or without you. The question is, are you hungry and are you teachable? So I want to spend just a second here talking about this, because if you're not hungry and you're not teachable, nobody can help you. What do I mean by hungry? I'll break it down. By hungry is if you're sitting there going, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of not having enough money. I'm tired of it and I'm hungry and I will do what it takes. I will work. And so that's the hunger, right? You want to be hungry for something better. Maybe you want to send your children to a better school, or maybe you want to drive a nicer car, or maybe you want to move into a beautiful area, where you live, or maybe you want to take a vacation that you haven't taken in so long, that you're hungry, that you want to have it. And the second component that you must have is you got to be teachable. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down so simple, so easy, that anybody, no matter what your background is, if you're just getting started, a stay-at-home mom, or if you've got 3 jobs going on, it doesn't matter. Or if you're a professional, it's got to be easy and simple, but you've got to be teachable. Now, what if someone's teachable? Okay, they can follow this, but they're not hungry. They're not hungry. Maybe you're already a millionaire. You're not hungry, right? It's not going to work if both components are not there. So you need to ask yourself a big question. Are you hungry and are you teachable? So what if you're really hungry? You're saying, I'm sick and tired. I want more of my life. I want to provide better for my family. I'm hungry, but you're not teachable, meaning you cannot follow a few simple instructions. If you can't follow simple instructions on how to grow your network bigger, better, faster, stronger, but you're hungry, it's not going to work. You need both. Right? So write these 2 words down, hungry and teachable, and ask yourself, am I hungry? Am I really hungry? Is it my time? And am I teachable? Can I follow simple instructions? Hope this makes sense to everyone. Again, we're going to this thing just rolling way too fast. There. So what I'm going to share with you on this call is the big business model. If we want to go to $1 billion, the first $1 billion. And I'm predicting we're going to do it within our first 18 months, starting now. Within our first 18 months, Aurum will do $1 billion. It might even take less than that, but I'm saying confidently within 18 months, Aurum's $1 billion giant. All right. And it's going to move on to a multi-billion dollar giant. But we're going to have to employ the big business model. And this is where, Brian, his genius, is putting everything together with the ecosystem. We've got the bots that are phenomenal. We've got the Visa cards that they can't even keep up with the demand. That's how much of a demand they are. So behind the scenes, Aurum is working as fast as they can because this product is in very, very, very high demand. But guess what? We're only in week 2. Everybody calm down. It's going to be, they're going to get this right. They're going to have more cards and all of that stuff. We've got the exchange. This is the big business model. Everything is put together. The exchange is a world-class exchange. And get this, the CEO, Leo, they just announced a brand new CEO of the entire exchange. Again, this is a massive, massive undertaking. And what he announced, I almost fell off my chair. He has agreed that on the exchange, and Aurum has agreed 50% of the revenues that are generated on that exchange go back to the network. That is absolutely mind-boggling. And if you understand that, you need to maybe if we get a replay, you can rewatch that and say, what did he just say? It's true. The CEO of the Aurum exchange has announced that 50% of all revenues that are generated from that exchange are going to be shared with the Aurum network. This is amazing. So this, again, all of the different components that are going in there. We've got the POS terminals part of it. There's so much more, all right, in this model. But here's the concept that I want to share with everyone right now, all right? It's $1 billion concept. This is not a small concept. It's $1 billion. Now, when I first started playing with this concept back in 2008, when I started my venture and this marketing concept that we came up with. In my mind, I had a slide that's very similar to this, but I said, hey, how about $100,000 idea that I can share with you, $100,000 idea, because I thought this concept was really $100,000 idea. I thought it was $100,000 concept, which I was sincere in that. But then as we started growing using the concept and started duplicating the concept, and more people started, incorporating this concept into their method of operation, all of a sudden I said, no, this is $1 million concept. It's not $100,000. It's $1 million. But today, based on results, based on what I know, not what I think and I'm hoping and I'm dreaming, but what I'm about to share with you is $1 billion concept. And probably in the next couple of years, we're going to say, no, this is a multi-billion dollar concept, but you get to play a role. You get to, take this concept and make it yours. And here's the concept. Let me just move it forward. Here it is. And if you have a pen and a piece of paper, write this down, because this is going to be the core of everything we do. We're going to create a few simple actions. All right. A few simple actions that can be duplicated by a large group of people over a consistent period of time. All right. Write this down. And I'll repeat it because there's different languages, and I want you to get this exactly correct in the translation. And that's to create a few simple actions that can be duplicated by a large group of people over a consistent period of time. That's how we're going to create $1 billion, is by creating a few simple actions. For those of you who learn more and more about AURUM, and this is what can happen, right? We learn more and more about AURUM. The more we learn, the more amazing it is. But we're trying to explain it to our friends or explain it to our contacts, and we're trying to be Brian Benson. And that's not duplicated. Brian Benson is not duplicatable. He's a genius. You're right. He knows the blockchain inside. He sleeps, eats, and drinks blockchain. He puts teams together to build all that's complicated stuff. So don't try to be send them to a video and let Brian Benson see. That's an easy, simple action. Hey, let's send them to Brian Benson's video and let Brian Benson do the hard work of explaining how all of this comes together. But we want to keep everything that we're doing as partners as simple as possible, so that when you are inviting brand new people to take a look, it's so simple. They're saying, hey, I could do that. But if they're saying to you, and some of you are on the call that you know so much about AURUM, but the challenge with that is when you're explaining it to people that you want to become partners with you, they're saying, man, you're so smart, but I could never do what you just did to me. It's too complicated. So they're out, because it's too complicated, right? And so this is the concept that we're going to really, really focus on. So moving forward, all right, everything you do in your business, everything you do as it relates to introducing people to AURUM and following up and exposing and helping people get started, keep it simple. Keep it simple. And I like what Brian says. He says frictionless, right? He's creating frictionless banking the way it should be. And you want to do the same in terms of when you're introducing people, and we're going to help you with all of this, is you want to make it no friction. No friction. If you start talking a different language to someone and they don't know that much about crypto, or they're just getting started in crypto, and you go way above their pay grade in terms of what they're even able to absorb, they're out. They're not going to understand, and they're going to say, I could never do this. And that would be a shame, right? We want to make sure it's easy and simple for people to get started. It's easy and simple for them to do what you did to them in order to get them started in the business, right? So AURUM Zone 1, write this down. It's where all the money is, but there's really 4 zones. How many zones are there? There's 4 zones, all right? And I'm going to go through the different zones, and then we're going to come back to Zone 1 and show you exactly where all the money is in AURUM, all right? Zone 2, we got to stay there. Zone 2 is when you're managing partners who are in Zone 1, all right? Now, there's not a lot of money doing that kind of stuff, but when you're managing people that are in Zone 1, that's great, but there's less money than in Zone 1. If you move over to the Zone 3, just to give you an idea, Zone 3 is when you're managing partners who are managing partners who are in zone one, right? There's a lot less money doing stuff like that. And the worst is when you slip into zone four. All right. This is when zone four, this is really bad. This is really bad. When you're managing partners who are managing partners who are managing partners who are in zone one. All right. When you find yourself in that position, you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to quit, even though AURUM is one of those, projects that come along every 15. You're going to want to quit. And if you felt like, hey, I need to quit, it's probably because you're in zone four, and so all the money again is where? In zone one. So I'm going to explain what exactly is zone one. We're going to break it down, make it easy, make it simple so everyone can do this. And the question as we go through again, does this make sense? And will this produce a result not only for you, but as you grow your network, as you start growing your network, as you start exposing, following up, helping people get started? Can they do this? Can they stay in zone one? Can you teach zone one? So there's really only three components. There's only three components. You see, is this too complicated? It's not 57 things you got to remember. There's only three things that you got to remember to stay in zone one. And that is number one, expose. Number two, write this down, follow up and help people get started. These are the three: expose, follow up, and help people get started. Expose, follow up, help people get started. That's where the money is. You want to make a lot of money? You're looking for the money? Do these three things. And I'm going to now break down what the heck does all this mean, right? Expose, one of the things, the concepts that we want to really share with you is expose to a day. Expose is another word for introduce, right? If you're introducing someone, exposing, exposure. There is not one in 100,000. There's not one in 500,000 that's ever heard of AURUM, right? And so by exposing someone that you can say, hey, have you heard of AURUM? And they say no. Well, there you go. Now you can expose them if they haven't heard of AURUM. And very, very, very few people. Again, it's only 2 weeks since the official launch. Very, very few people around the world have heard of it. So someone is going to expose those people. It might as well be you. But in terms of a simple, easy system that it's easy to do, it's easy to learn, it's easy for people to duplicate, and it's something that everybody can do, no matter what their background is, no matter what their age is, no matter what their experience is, they can do it. And so the concept is this: expose 2 a day, expose 2 people a day. And I'm going to show you how expose, what do you do? What do you mean by expose? And we're going to be developing tools, and we're going to developing systems that make it easy, simple to even expose more and more. But why 2 a day? Why 2 a day? Because 2 a day is something everybody can do. Now, I know who's on this call. I can almost see you, right? Some of you are saying, no, I'm going to expose 10 a day. I can expose 15 a day. I can expose 20 a day, which is fine. But just don't tell anybody you're doing that. Why? It's not duplicatable, right? We don't want to leave anybody behind. It's not duplicatable. You might be able to expose 10 a day, and that's great. But if you start telling people expose 10 a day, they might do it for a day or two, but they're going to burn out, and they cannot sustain over a consistent period of time. But if we're training and teaching and just as part of the system, expose 2 a day, I can do that. Anybody can do that. Someone has 2 jobs. They're just trying to keep the bills paid and they've got 2 jobs. They can expose 2 a day in addition to all their jobs and all their commitments. 2 a day is something that can be duplicated by a large group of people over a consistent period of time. Now, how do we expose? We can use, for example, videos. You can use videos that are already done. You can take your favorite videos to introduce them. You have live Zooms that are all over the place in multiple languages, and there's more and more coming. So you can introduce someone and expose someone by inviting them to a live Zoom, and let the professional or let the person that's more experienced expose them and talk to them instead of you trying to sell someone or convince someone. All the replays that are available, that's an exposure. Or the presentations that you can download in the materials in your back office, that's an exposure. Or the PDFs, and you send someone a PDF, that's an exposure. Or a 3-way call. All right, now pay close attention to what I'm about to say, because part of Zone 1, we're going to be introducing in the next little while something that I'm really, really fired up about, and you will be too. It's called AURUM Flow. All right, AURUM Flow. Again, I wish I could say this was my invention. It's not. Brian Benson and his incredible team have been working on this long before they even knew who Shane Morand was, right? Long before I was involved. They were working, they have been working on this for a long time, and they're about to introduce AURUM Flow in the next little while in a beta. But what it's going to do, it's going to take the exposure, the follow-up, and the help getting started. They're going to automate it for you so an AI is going to come in there. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's going to connect your Telegram, your WhatsApp exposures, and your Instagram exposures in a way that is absolutely going to blow your mind. And in the near future, as we start the beta, right here every week on the Zone 1 call, we're going to be teaching and we're going to be sharing how to use, how to set it up, how to work the AURUM Flow to make you grow bigger, better, faster, stronger. And Brian likes, I guess, when I said this one time, I said, hey, we're going to grow faster than a rabbit farm on a hormone diet, right? If you get the visual, your team is going to grow so much faster as we start putting these easy, simple systems in. And when you look at what we're doing, you've got to be saying, and you've got to be knowing even your prospects in the future, when you start teaching them the Zone 1 concept, they're going to say, I could do that. I could do that. It's not like, oh, it's so complicated that how, and you're doing all the technology stuff and you go way over their heads and they back away. But when you got your prospects and your new partners and you're teaching them what to do and they're saying to themselves, I can do that, the chances are they're going to move forward. That's how we build a multi-billion-dollar giant in this industry. And I'm excited. I don't know about you, but I'm really, really fired up here. The second thing is I want to talk about is, okay, we talked about exposure. I could talk about this for hours, about the different ways to expose, but I want you to get a sense of where we're going here. The second component is follow-up, right? It's a big one. And I know if you can hear my voice right now and you're on this presentation, you know, and I know that you're not following up properly. We all know that, right? And the question is, and I know that your team, and you're saying the same thing, my team is exposing, but they're not following up. And how come they're not following up? Why is that? What is the phenomenon? Well, what if we solve that equation? The reason why people are not following up, and I don't think there's a single person on this call that is a partner that has been exposing or introducing people is saying, I follow up with every single person. I don't believe it, right? And one of the reasons why it's such a difficult thing to even, it's a friction point. It's a friction. And what we want to do is make it frictionless to follow up. And in my opinion, the reason this is happening is because they've never been taught how to follow up properly. Everybody says follow up. The money is in the follow up. The money, yeah, the money. But how do I follow up? You know, do I call and say, hey, what do you think? Is that a really good way to follow up? I don't think so. They're going to say, I think you're crazy and don't call me again, right? But we want to show an easy, simple way, and you can make notes. And this is going to continue. What I'm teaching and what I'm sharing with you, we're not changing next week. We're not going to change in 3 weeks. It's going to be the same system and consistent until the entire organization unified together is singing out of the same book. Everyone's saying Zone 1, baby. Everybody's in zone, and people are going like this. I'm in Zone 1, right? I'm in Zone 1. It doesn't mean we're number one. This means we're in Zone 1, and that's why, because that's where all the money is. And so we want to get the entire, no matter what language, no matter what country you're in, we want everybody in Zone 1, and watch how fast your network grows. Watch how fast AURUM grows. It's going to shock not only people in AURUM, but it's going to shock the world in terms of where did that come from, right? Where did they come from? They're growing so fast. Must be lucky. Must be an accident. We're going, no, baby, we're in Zone 1. That's where all the money is. All right. Hope that makes sense. But there's some components that I want to talk about. And the last thing, especially for the new people, and even if you're experienced, you know, the last thing we want you to do personally, unless you're a professional, is we don't want you to pitch. You know, because it's not duplicatable. We don't want you to pitch and kind of try to sell someone about how good AURUM is. Why? Because the person that you're trying to sell, they're looking at you and thinking, man, they may think you're smart. They may even think you're a genius, but in their mind, they're going, I could never do that. I can never be that smart, right? So we want to make the introduction as easy and simple and frictionless as possible, either through pointing them to information, through getting them onto a Zoom or a replay or a video or a PDF. Like I said, there's multiple ways to do it. But so for example, let's say we had a video that explains Aurum in a real easy, simple way, right? Or we have something that we're promoting. The first question when you follow up, and I want to make the follow-up so easy and simple that you can't wait to follow up. Now you're saying, I can't wait. So all the people I expose, I can't wait to use this system to follow up because it's fun, because it's easy, because it's simple. And that's what I want to show you. So the first thing is, for example, if you send someone to a Zoom, a live Zoom, and you call them back and you say, first of all, did you get on the Zoom? If they say no, the conversation has to be over. Okay, I'll call you back. I'll let you know when the next one is, but don't go into, oh, you weren't on, so I'm going to teach you. Don't do that. Just end the call. It stops right there, because if they didn't take that baby step, you're going to have to drag them across the finish line. If they can't follow a simple instruction like join a live Zoom to hear about one of the most phenomenal opportunities on the planet right now, if they can't take that step, or if you showed them a replay, there's some amazing replays about introduction to Aurum that are available all over the place. And if they can't take the time to watch the replay, there's no sense in just say, okay, look, I'm busy right now. I'm following up with people that are actually going somewhere, right? And so you want to make sure that before you start the follow-up process, that you want to make sure that they took a baby step. If they didn't take the baby step, end the call and say, look, I'll talk to you next time, or I'll send you another link for another Zoom, or I'll send you another link. And when you watch the video, when you watch the replay, then let's talk, right? Let's talk. So let's assume that they said, oh yeah, I was on that live Zoom, or I saw the replay, or I saw the video, or I read the PDF, right? And so if the answer is yes, that they took a baby step, right? That's all we're looking for. Can they take a baby step? And if the answer is yes, you're just going to ask this question. Please write this down. What did you like most about what you saw? What did you like most? It's just an open-ended question. Whether they said they liked the Visa card, or maybe they liked the exchange, or maybe they liked the bot, or maybe they liked the Zeus bot, or maybe they like the POS that are coming because they have all kinds of contacts, or whatever it is that they like, just listen to them. Listen to what they like the most, right? And it's a really good question because they get to tell you what is interesting to them, not to you. You might like the Visa card, but they might like the XAI bot, or they might like something else. I hope this makes sense. So the first question that you're going to ask them is, what do you like most? All right. Hope you had time to write that down. And once they tell you, and let them talk. Let them talk about what they like most. Don't cut them off. Let them talk, all right, about what they like most. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to ask them a simple question. This is it. Write it down, please. You're just going to ask them, hey, can you see an opportunity? It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. You're just saying, it's just an easy, simple question that everybody in any language can ask. Can you see an opportunity? You're not asking them to see the opportunity. You're not telling them to see an opportunity. You're asking them. They just said what they like the most, and you're saying, hey, do you see an opportunity? Maybe they see an opportunity for themselves personally, just becoming a customer. And maybe they see an opportunity because they know so many people that are sick and tired of the traditional frictionless or friction banking. That's what we have right now all over the world, is friction banking. It's so difficult to do banking, and we're inviting them to frictionless banking. But can you see an opportunity? There's only two answers, yes or no. All right. If they say they can't see an opportunity, then thank you very much. But let's go on to the next person. There's no need for you to, get them in a headlock and try to convince them that there's a big opportunity. If they can't see it, especially if they've been exposed, just put them on your drip list and send them the next beautiful video. Send them the next interview that Brian Benson has with either Forbes magazine or Entrepreneur magazine, or the next big thing that's coming out, because there's a lot of big announcements that are coming out that are just mind-boggling, that are coming out, right? And so the last question that you want to ask them, if they say, yes, I see an opportunity, just say, hey, would you like to get started? That's it. Would you like to, if they say they see an opportunity, you don't have to go on a big speech. You just say, okay, they say yes. Would you like to get started? Easy and simple. Who could do this? Can the stay-at-home mom do this? You know, can the plumber, can the person that never knew anything about crypto, can they learn how to do this once they get their account set up? Can they learn how to ask this follow-up question? Now it becomes fun. And then again, if you write this down and you do your follow-up and just read the questions, you know, just read them. You know, hey, have you had a chance to watch the video? It's yes or no. If they say no, thank you very much. I'll send you next or the live event and we'll send you another link, but I got to go. Right? Don't go into the sales pitch with them. It's not duplicatable. All right. And they say, yes, I have watched the video. Hey, what'd you like best? Oh, I like this. I like that. Can you see an opportunity here? They say yes or no. If they say yes, the next question is easy. Would you like to get started? That fast. And now they're going to say yes, they want to get started, or no, they don't want to get started. You know, and so if they say yes, they want to get started, what do? You go to step number 3. And what is that in zone 1? It's get started, right? I'm going to lay out a real simple way to help people get started here that everybody can duplicate. But again, we want to make the getting started process frictionless, easy, and simple. So when someone says they want to get started, get them just register for free. There's no friction in free. They can register their account for free using your link. Just go register for free. Who could do this? Everybody. There's no exceptions. Well, I don't have the money right now. Don't worry. Get in for free. Just register for free. Just get step 1, right? Once they're in, once they register for free, you want to move. There's 4 steps here, by the way. In getting started, there's really 4 steps. Step number 1 is you get them to register for free. Step number 2, they need to get some USDC or USDT on the Tron network. So either one, USDT, USDC, they need to make sure there's a way for them to go through their own exchange or however you're going to work it out with them, but they need to convert US dollars or whatever their currency is to USDT or USDC, all right? And there's a minimum deposit of $100. Now, who could do this? A minimum deposit of $100. Everybody. And if they don't have $100, they can save up. How long will it take someone to save up $100, right? We don't want to exclude anybody. I heard recently I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to do that. You're probably on the call. So, but they only work with the big players, right? They only work. Great. That's wonderful. But what AURUM wants to do is we want to have 1 million customers. We don't want to leave anybody behind. We want to have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million customers. And if we're only working with the people that have $10,000 or $20,000 or $25,000 or $100,000, we're going to leave too many people behind. And what I love about AURUM, I wish I could say I thought of this myself. I wish I could say I built the compensation plan. I wish I could say that I did, but I didn't. And when I saw that AURUM is allowing people with 100 USDT or USDC to join the network and personally start to have an ROI, I said, this is beautiful because we don't have to leave anybody behind. And you never know, that person with 100 USDC, they get started and they enroll someone who enrolls someone who enrolls someone who introduces someone, and boom, someone comes in with $100,000 or $50,000 or $20,000 or $10,000 that we would have never reached if it wasn't for that little person, that little guy, the person just looking for a break that came in with $100. So thank you to AURUM, and thank you to the geniuses who came up with this plan to allow everybody to participate in the banking of the future. It's just a beautiful thing. And so the other part is that there's a platform fee of $19.99. I mean, you're getting a multi-billion. I mean, this is a massive platform that people can access and use for $19.99 a year. This is incredible, right? There's your business, $19.99 a year, all right? And then what we want them to do, and again, there's so many components of AURUM. There's so many things in the big business model, but what we want to do is really funnel them to a test and just get them in the system. Like when I look at AURUM and everything that's already there and everything that's already coming, even the RWA with the building developments that are coming up. These projects are huge with the gold. that's being introduced now, with the data centers, RWA, and much more to come, with the POS, with everything that Aurum has. I look at it as a buffet. It's a massive, massive buffet, right? There's everything. You got the desserts, you got the pizza, you got the steaks, you got the salads. Everything is there. And if it's not there, it's coming. They're building it. And it's going to get bigger and better and even stronger moving forward, right? But here's the thing. When we're introducing a brand new person and helping them get started, we want to make sure that we just get them into the buffet. We don't want to throw the buffet at them, right? Because it's too confusing for the average person. But why not do something like this? Why don't you test the XAI bot? Put in 100 minimum, but you can put whatever you want. You can't put more than 100,000 in. So they put what they are comfortable with. Some people are comfortable. Let's do a test of 100,000. Let's see how let them experience the power of that XAI bot. Let them experience receiving Telegram messages. Boom, every day. You got an ROI, you got an ROI, you got an ROI. This is a beautiful thing to get them to experience, okay, to move on to the step 3. And what is step 3? So again, they're going to test the XAI bot. This is the way we're just going to get them into the door, into the beautiful buffet that we call Aurum, the Aurum Foundation. And so then the step 3 is, we want to make sure that every person takes responsibility to do their own due diligence, do their own research before they start making additional deposits. All right. This is just something that you want to be responsible. I did my due diligence. I told you it was 3 months of due diligence inside. And I came to my conclusion that this is one of those companies that they come along once every 15 years. That's the conclusion I came to. But just because I came to the conclusion, and if someone brand new started, I want them doing their own due diligence. And what I know is going to happen in step 3, if they do their own due diligence, the more they do, the more they're going to love, what Aurum is all about. The more they do their due diligence on Brian Benson, the more in awe they're going to become. The more due diligence they do in all the components that Aurum has to offer, the more in awe that they're going to become. Again, I hope I'm not the only one excited about this, but step 3 is make sure you tell them to do their own due diligence. All right. And finally, step 4, we want to keep it easy and simple here. Step 4 is teach others the 4 steps, period, end of training, right? To get started, these are the 4 basic steps. You start on this track. Who can do this? What I'm talking about the whole time that we've been talking zone 1 here, who could do this? Anybody. Anybody can do this, right? This is not exclusive to only the people that are experts in crypto or that are experts in networking or who have developed large networks. This is for everybody to be able to come in and to learn and to figure out, how do we make money? Where is the money? And again, the money is in zone 1. Now, I also highly recommend, although we're talking about exposed to a day, one last thing is that when you launch your Aurum business, when you get started in your first 7 days, I call it a 7-day major blast. You want to be blasting, you want to be exposing 40 to 50 people in your first week. In your first week, 40 to 50, then you go on 2 a day. Why do we want to do this? Because we want to create a movement. Not all 40 to 50 people are going to be interested, but when you expose in a short period of time, let's call it 40 to 50 people who they're in your Rolodex. I mean, these are people who are in your phone already. They already know you, who you are. They know your first name. They know a little bit about you. They don't have to be best friends, but you want to, in the first 7 days, you want to make sure you're teaching your brand new partners to expose 40 to 50 in their first 7 days. And that gets them off the ground. It gets their business off the ground, because you cannot expose 40 to 50 people in a week and not have a pile of people coming back and saying, look, I want to know more. And you start going through that process with them. All right. And so this is it. I want you to make sure you write this down. This is Aurum Zone 1. This is what we're talking about every single week. We're going to be adding the automation coming up that you're not going to believe. It's going to put your entire business and your entire movement onto a whole new level. And that's it. Expose, follow up, get. And my question to you all is this: who could do this, who could follow up, who can expose using the tools, who can follow up using a simple system, easy and simple, who can help people get started using an easy, simple system? The answer is everybody. And there's the secret. There's where the money is. If you're exposing, follow up. Now, I want to tell you just a personal story of someone that I've been observing for 3 months, actually, for over 3 months. And that's an individual, probably one of the top income earners in the company in AURUM. Got to spend with a lot of time with him and his family down there. And, you know, success is not an accident. You know, success, the people don't just show up and become successful by accident. They're usually doing certain things. And the more I started looking, and I'm talking about an individual by the name of HP. Everybody's, if you haven't seen his presentations, he's doing 5 live Zoom presentations to introduce people every single week. 5 presentations a week. He's doing them live. 4 of them are for introduction, and one of them every week is the helping people get started type of thing. But again, and he's doing, I think, 8 to 10 Zooms every single day. He's just Zooms, meaning with small groups and people that have questions and so on. He's just continually, and what is he doing? He's exposing, he's following up, he's helping people get started. He's exposing, he's following up, he's helping people get started. He's exposing, he's in the zone 1, and that's why he's one of the top income earners in all of AURUM. Watch what he's doing, and that's what he's doing. Exposing, follow up, help people get started. And if you got into that rhythm, everything else you're doing, calling people and complaining, and hey, where's the cards? And what about this? Cleaning your desk, shuffling things around. There's no money in doing that stuff. Managing people, there's no money in doing that stuff. The money is in exposing new people, in following up with those people, helping new people get started, help them get started right. And with that, that's all I have for you tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this AURUM Zone 1 call. I look forward to seeing everyone next week, same time, same place. And thank you so much, everyone. Holy moly. Yeah, we're almost 1,000 people. Thank you so much, everyone, for wherever you are calling in all over the world. I hope you've taken notes. We're not changing. This is going to be the system that's going to help build an organization for you and all the new people coming in, bigger, better, faster than you can even comprehend right now. How do I know? Not because I'm guessing and I'm hoping and I'm praying, because this is how we did it. This is how I've already done this. As Brian has already witnessed a unicorn with Binance, with all of his experience. He was there. He was there, he contributed to that, and the same on the network side. I was there. There was only 2 of us when we began with no money, and we built $1 billion. And I believe that AURUM is again positioned perfectly to become again a multi-billion-dollar giant in this industry. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you joining, and we'll see you next week right here on AURUM Zone 1. Bye for now.